What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Market360 here, back with another video. And I know it's been a while since I've made a video, anything new, any new products and things. Really haven't been feeling like doing much, haven't really been feeling about doing many videos. But I thought I would make one on my latest pickup here. As you can see, I have the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. This is Microsoft's Pro controller that they created for the originally for the Xbox One, but it was also compatible with the Xbox Series X. Now, this controller I didn't buy brand new. I actually found this one at a pawn shop for about $80, which is a pretty good deal considering these costs. I believe somewhere in the neighborhood of $175, $180, something like that, brand new. And if you were to go on the Xbox Design Lab and design one, then it would be even more expensive. I think you can, you can max it out at like $209 something. Like they're pretty they're pretty expensive. But yeah, so I picked this one up at a pawn shop for $80. Obviously, there's a risk involved when purchasing from a pawn shop because it's a used product, and these things are known for they're known for not being, how do you say, the most sturdy. Like, people have had issues with these controllers, stick drift, things of that nature, and it has caused them to have to return to Microsoft or whatever. So with this being a used product that I purchased from a pawn shop, there's no warranty, so it's a greater risk. It is a big, discount, but it's a greater risk. But they did have a week return policy, and I figured if there was something wrong with the controller, it wouldn't take me a week to figure it out. So I took the plunge and I bought it, and with luck, it's in perfect condition. Yeah, there's no issues with the controller at all. It's really clean. Looks, I mean, it honestly feels brand new. I actually went ahead and purchased some extra accessories for it. So as you can see, there's like more sticks, replacement sticks in the case that's normally available. That's because I went ahead online and you can just purchase extra accessories. So I bought a pack of extra sticks just because I wanted some fresher ones. So these are like brand new stick modules that I purchased off eBay for a couple bucks, which is nice. But yeah, everything about the controller itself works really good. All the buttons work, none of them are sticky. Um, this controller is a Pro controller, right? So it gives you a lot of options in terms of like stick placement. You have these different sticks. These are kind of extended or taller sticks. It's supposed to give you more fine accuracy and fine aim. Initially, I believe the controller only comes with one tall stick, but because I purchased aftermarket sticks, I have two tall sticks. They also have a choice of convexed or concaved sticks. So these are concaved with kind of like a divot on the end, so it kind of holds your thumb in place when you're playing a game. And these are convexed steps, or no, these are also concave, but they're smooth. They don't have a grip texture on it. So these are concave with a grip texture. These are concave without a grip texture, and I've got those two right there. And then they also have these, which are convexed steps or sticks, which kind of protrude outward, and they have like a rubber grip texture. So it's akin to like a DualShock 3 controller for the PS3, if you remember those. So it's cool to have all these different options. So far I really just use the default ones. I really like the way the default sticks on the Xbox controller feel. They have this really nice grip texture around the edge. That coupled with the concave or the concavity, it really keeps my thumb in place for most gaming sessions. I don't have any issues. So I really do like that. Put all these accessories back in here. And for the extra accessories that I have, I just put them down at the bottom. There's no like actual place for them to go in case, but they fit perfectly fine at the bottom. You also get your choice of D-pad, so you could have a traditional cross-style D-pad, or you can have this kind of flat dish style D-pad. I really like this dish, especially for fighting games. Oh man, it is so smooth in order to do like quarter circles, and like Xbox has traditionally not had the best D-pad, but they kind of fixed that issue with the Xbox One controller. Its D-pad was a lot better than a lot better than what it's been for a long time. I remember the 360's D-pad was terrible, it was mushy, it was inaccurate, it didn't feel good at all. But with the Xbox One, they fixed it, and then they have this disc style D-pad, which it was initially introduced on the first, I believe on the first Elite Series controller, and this is just like, it is really good. Each direction clicks like it actually has like a definitive click, and it is really good. And you can do rolls like no problem. Like if you're like into like Street Fighter or Tekken, this D-pad is 100% like really good. But the traditional cross style D-pad is also still usable and still works really well. You also get this tool, and the way this tool works, it allows you to adjust the tension of the sticks, so you can have it be tighter or looser. For me, I feel like the sticks are really loose. It's weird. So it's because the controller itself is much heavier. Like it's really heavy, and the sticks are heavy. They're made of like metal. Versus, I believe on the original Xbox 3 or the Xbox Series controllers, they're plastic. These are metal with like a magnetization. So the sticks feel loose already, and then the tights, even on the tightest setting, they feel loose to me. But I mean, it's still usable. It just doesn't feel like when you say you're gonna tighten it, it feels like it should be tighter, but it still works really well. So I don't feel like this is like a feature that's like super necessary, but I mean it's there for anyone that wants to experience that. You also have the the benefit of back paddle buttons. So this is very useful because every button on the controller can be mapped to one of these buttons on the back. So if you're playing a game where you don't want to take your thumbs off the thumbsticks in order to press maybe like a face button or the D-pad or whatever, you can map the face buttons to the back buttons here, and that way you'll be able to press those buttons while still maintaining your thumbs on the thumbstick. And that's super useful for a lot of games, honestly. You can also map in, like, there's an app for the controller, and you can actually map in different keyboard keys, like keyboard bindings from a keyboard. You could map it to those back buttons, which is just, I mean, that's next level. Like any game that you play on Xbox that happens to respond to a specific keyboard, like F4 or F3 or something like that, if they have those keys usable in game, you can map those buttons to the back controller, and these are buttons that normally wouldn't be on a controller. It effectively gives you like 4 more face buttons. It's insane. That's really useful right there. So this controller is really cool. It also has there's a little puck that goes inside of this area where you would set the controller down to charge it. I actually have it plugged up over by my television right there. So it's just like a little charging puck, and you set the controller down onto the charger. So you just sit it down, and it magnetically connects these contacts, and it charges. I'm not so. I have to admit that I'm not super keen on the fact that this controller has a built-in battery, right? Like that's one of the benefits of Xbox's controllers that I've always enjoyed, was the fact that the battery wasn't built into the controller itself. It was removable. There was just a back panel. You take it off and you could put AA batteries, or you could put your own rechargeable battery, like from first party, third party. Like there were so many different options. With this controller, the way in which it's designed, it has the battery built in, which is akin to the DualSense controller. And I'm not super keen on that, because as someone who has been gaming for a very long time, right? Xbox 360, PS3, I can tell you from firsthand experience, being able to remove the battery out of a controller is a really good thing because these PS3 controllers, right, the Dual Sense, or was it the Dual Shock 3s, after a good couple of years, you're going to have an issue where the battery in this thing is dead. It will not hold a charge and you'll have to plug it up. And the only way to replace the battery is to literally disassemble the whole controller, take the battery out, and then you have to purchase one like off of eBay or something and replace it that way. And it's just a much more annoying, process. Whereas with this controller, if its battery dies, like I have a rechargeable battery in this, if it dies for whatever reason it won't hold a charge, I just go grab me some AA batteries and then keep on going, and I'll buy a rechargeable battery later off of eBay, and I'm good to go. So as someone who wants to, who games on a frequent and wants to keep his gaming equipment for a long time, I would much prefer to have removable batteries than not. But I mean, that's just the nature of the beast with this controller, unfortunately. So this button in the middle here, so you can create multiple different profiles on the controller for the different buttons and what they do, what you've mapped them to, and you can save up to 3 different profiles. And you can even change, as you can see here, you can change the Xbox light. I've changed it to green because I really like the green color. But yeah, you can change that middle light, and it'll be different for each different profile. So let's take a look at the app real quick. So this, we're just going to do like an off-screen thing, but this is the app that it does. I mean, you can just download it. It's not like it comes with the controller, but you can just download it off the Xbox store. And with that, the app, you can configure the buttons however you want them. So I have a couple of profiles I've already created. I've got one for Proteus, one for Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun, and another one for Starfield. And then I've got a bunch down here for like Doom, Eternal, Far Cry, Gears, Ghost, Halo, Resident Evil, Saints Row. Like these are all my different profiles, and I can just, select either one and change the buttons, the sticks. So the things that you can edit, let's go to Proteus here. You can edit, so you can literally edit every button on the controller and change what it does. And that's really, really useful. And like I said, you can edit those back buttons, and you can essentially map any button to one of those back buttons, and it becomes incredibly useful because now you have extra buttons that you can use, and using these buttons, you never have to take your thumbs off the stick. And like I was saying, so it's kind of hard to see that which is highlighted, but you can see the primary button is A, and the shift up. So a shift button, you can assign one button to be the shift button, and when you hold that button down, it changes the functionality of all the other buttons. So it's essentially like every button is 2 buttons. It's insane. The level of customization in this controller is ridiculous. So yeah, you can map it to specific buttons. You can also map it to specific actions, which is also cool as hell. So you can have it launch a specific app. You can put it on high contrast mode, color filters. You can have it mute your TV, turn on narrator, turn off narrator night mode. You can have it open the guide button, play or pause media. Like this is just, it's like keyboard level of customization. It's nuts. Like what you can do, record what happens, a search function, see your party. Like it's so much stuff that you can just map. Like I can map volume up and volume down on the D-pad and have it every time I press up and down the D-pad, it just turns up the TV volume or turns it down. Like that's insane. It's just that level of customization is there. You also have the ability, like I said, to map different keyboard keys. So this is stuff, the Windows button, the Alt, Control, Shift, like different keyboard bindings. You can also assign a key, like you can use the virtual keyboard. But that's what? Like, are you serious? That's crazy. It's nuts. It's the level of customization. You've got every key, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like the full QWERTY keyboard. You can assign buttons to the controller, and it's nuts, right? Like it's insane. There's also, you can adjust the tension, not the tension on the sticks, but I guess like you can adjust the sensitivity curve, how sensitive the stick is, which is super useful in like very precision shooters. So I like playing Ghost Recon a lot, and that game is really precise when it comes to aiming, especially if you're going to be sniping from a distance of over like 500 meters out. Like you have to be very precise in your aiming, and you can make it where the stick like is very like smooth. So when aiming, it's just like really smooth and fine. It's really useful. You could also adjust the triggers and how much pressure is required in order for it to immediately activate the button. And they also have on the back of the controller, they have trigger stops, which essentially make it where the trigger stops earlier within the press. So you can make it where it's like really quick. You can address you can adjust the vibration and how high you want the vibrations to be, and you can also change the color, like I said, of that button in the middle. You can change it to any number of colors. You can customize the brightness. You can use your own custom color. Like it's super detailed. But yeah, that's a lot you can do with the app there, and it's just really cool. Um, but yeah, overall, I gotta say I like this controller. I don't know if I like it 170, $180 worth. Like it is a good controller, like no doubt. But the default price, like if you're just like going to a Best Buy or something and you're just gonna buy this for $180, like the features that it adds are nice, but I don't know if they're like that nice. Like it just doesn't like it doesn't add up for me. Like I do like the way the controller is. I like it has these custom like grip textures that feel like rubber. Like it's really nice. It's got a nice heft to it. It's heavier than a standard Xbox controller, but it feels premium in that way. Like it's really good feeling. And yeah, so it's a nice controller. I feel like the pricing is over the top. And PlayStation has their own version of this. They have the DualSense Edge controller, which is even worse. That one's $200, and I'm just like, who in the hell is paying that much? Like that's like half the price of the console for a controller. I don't care what it does. Like unless it's like gonna give me a hand ski, that's insane. So I don't know if I would ever buy in at the price. Like this controller's been out for a long time, and I've seen it. I've had the opportunity to purchase it. I'm just unwilling to do so for that price. The only reason I bought this is because it was $80 at a pawn shop. And having gotten having the chance to get my hands on it and use it, it is a good controller. I do like it, but not for $180. Like I'm sorry, but it's just that price is unrealistic to me, and I don't see any good reason as to why it costs that much. I mean, the features that they added are nice, but I just don't think they're that nice. I mean, if a standard Xbox controller is what is it like $60 I think regular price. I mean they're all on sale all the time, but I think $60 is the standard price. So I mean 80 is probably generous. That's I mean because they've added a lot of features. I could maybe see myself going in at 100. Like if these were $99 a pop, I'd be like, okay, that's fair. There's a lot of features there. You've added a lot to the controller, but to charge me $180, boo boo, no. Like it's just there's a level of absolutely no. There's just no. Like no. So yeah, overall though, it's a great controller. It's very nice. I would say if you find one for under MSRP, go for it. Like yeah, I would definitely go for it. You'll definitely have a good time with it. I mean, there are some people who say that like using this controller ruins you for every other controller. Like you'll never be able to go back. I don't know if I'm that pressed about like it's a good controller. Like don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I'd say like the standard Xbox controllers are also really good. Like I like my standard Xbox Series X controllers. Let me grab one for comparison's sake. I like my standard Xbox Series X controllers just as well. So it's not like oh my god, this controller absolutely completely destroys. No, it's fine. it's it's perfectly fine, but so is the standard pad. Like the standard controller is still really good. you know, it's got these really nice grip textures on the back. I enjoy using the controller a lot. The replaceable batteries, which are really nice for me. Like it's a great controller. That dish style D pad is here. It's a little different, but it's essentially the exact same thing. And this just has more level of customization. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this controller to anyone looking to pick it up if you can get it for a good price. Another thing I should probably talk about is the battery life. So this, like I said, it has a built-in battery. The battery life on this controller. Now I've only had it for a week, but within that week, I fully charged it the day I got it, right? And like in terms of like it seems to be a battery champ. I can't 100% say for sure, but there's the battery symbol. Like it doesn't have percentages, which is kind of annoying, but it hasn't gone down. And I've been using the controller like literally every day. I've had it for a whole week now, and I've been using it every day. Like every day I log in, jump on my Xbox, and I just start playing games every day. And it literally hasn't gone down once. So I'm just gonna keep on using it until it drains, whenever that is. Like these controllers, the standard Xbox controller usually gives me like a good week. I would play like for a whole week without having to worry about having to charge it or anything. And then once it starts to, it'll give me a message saying that the battery's low, and I'll just switch controllers. DualSense controllers, on the other hand, give me about a good maybe 3-4 hours. Like I can get like one PlayStation in, and then the battery's already dead, and it's like, yep, switch to another one because this one's dead already. Like DualSense controllers don't last at all. They've got, I don't know what battery Sony's using or what the deal is, but they don't last very long. But this one, so far, like I said, I've been playing it every day for a whole week and have yet to kill the battery. So we'll see where it's at within 2 weeks. Like I haven't even, like that's the thing, like it not just kill the battery, but it hasn't even gone down. I don't know if that's like an inaccurate reading and it's just gonna die on me one day, like battery's all dead and I have to charge it. But so far, like it just hasn't gone down at all. So yeah, that's the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. Anyone looking to pick one up, I would suggest it, just not at the MSRP. If you can get them on sale. Oh, let me before I move on. There's also what they call the Xbox Elite Series Core controller, which is essentially the exact same controller, but they have like color variations. But the Core controller only comes with the controller itself, no accessories. So it doesn't come with the entire accessory kit, and it doesn't have the back paddles pre-installed. It's literally just the controller itself. But you can install the accessories, like you can buy the accessories separately and install them. Those controllers are like, I believe the MSRP is like $109. That's still kind of high, especially considering you're taking all the features away from it. The worst problem though is that the accessories pack, like by itself, if you buy the official one from Microsoft at like a Best Buy or a GameStop, is $60. I want to point $60. I want to preface this. All you're getting is a bunch of metal nubbins for the controller and the charging puck in this case. And they want to charge $60. Yeah, no. The answer is no. Go on Amazon, type in Xbox Series X Elite accessories pack. You will find the exact same thing on Amazon from like a third-party seller for like $30-40 maybe. So if you really want to get into the Elite Series controller, I think that's like the best way if you want to do it all brand new. If you can find a used one that's in good condition, I know that might be like a rare thing, but if you can find a used one, go for it. But if you want everything like brand new without having to worry about any issues, and so you still have a warranty, buy the Elite Series Core for like $109, and then buy the accessories off of Amazon for like $30-40. And that way you're kind of, I mean, it's still kind of high, $139 $149. That's still kind of retarded, but I mean, it's a nice controller. It's a nice controller. I don't know about these prices, man. I feel like these companies have kind of lost their mind, but I guess that's another video for another time. This is Marky360. Peace.